state your name, please?
When I was in the service, or when I was...
Just right now, whatever your name, your current name.
Bernice Eileen Gates right now, but it was Stone when I was in the service.
Place of birth, your place of birth?
Colchester, Illinois, October 10th, 1918.
Branch of service?
Wax, Women's Army Corps.
Your highest rank?
My what?
Highest rank?
Sergeant.
Where were you based out of?
My last station, Springfield, Missouri.
All right. That's just the basic information we need. Now we'll go into the real questions here. Were you drafted or did you enlist yourself?
I enlisted.
What made you decide to enlist?
Well, my brothers were in the service, and I called my dad and my grandmother, because they raised us, and asked them, and they said, Bernice, don't go overseas, but stay in the States, because to take care of your brothers when they come home.
Do you recall your first day in the service? What was that like?
Not really. It was just general. Well, see, we had basic training first, and that was in Fort Des Moines, Iowa. And I was in there, we was in there, what, 4 weeks or 6 weeks? And then when I got the last day of my enlistment, when they were going to give us our directions where they wanted to send us, my dad called my grandmother was real ill, and the captain came over to me and asked me if I wanted to go home, and I said I don't know, because I said, well, this changed my enlistment, you know, where I was to go. And she said it might, but we can't promise you anything. So but they said you can have 10 days to go home to see your grandmother. And they couldn't, Grandma wouldn't eat or do anything. And when I went in, I said, Grandma, it's Bernice, and I'm home. And she just brightened up and took a little bit of nourishment. And I got to stay 10 days till she died on the 7th day. And I was there for the funeral, and then I went back to Fort Des Moines, Iowa. And then from there I went to Atterbury, Indiana. And then from there we had training there, and then from Atterbury, Indiana, I went to Memphis, Tennessee for 6 weeks. And then they stationed us. And I was stationed in Springfield, Missouri for 18 months.
What was your first job or assignment when you first went to the war?
Well, it wasn't very good, because I'll tell you why. I was never around colored people, and and the first assignment they gave me was this colored man, and he was real black, and his skin was real rough, and when I went to massage him, I just couldn't hardly touch his skin, because we wasn't never around black people. And so I went to the captain, and I told her I said he may report me because I did not do a good job on him. And she said, well, from now on we won't give you any real black colored people. And so then I went ahead with my training.
Did you see any combat during your time?
No. I didn't go overseas. Dad and Grandma said, Bernice, if you don't have to go overseas, don't go overseas. And I called my brothers, I wrote to my brothers and asked them what they thought about me going in the service. And they said, Bernice, if you don't have to go in, go overseas. Don't go overseas during war. And so I didn't. I was stationed at Atterbury, Indiana. Let's see, no, I was stationed. St. Louis, Missouri was my base station. Now, is there anything else you want to know?
Did you receive any awards or medals during your time?
No. Just our good, good behavior and those kind of awards we got. But that's all.
How were you able to stay in touch with your family? Was that difficult to do?
When you were in the service?
Yeah.
I could call home. And like I said, I went home for my grandmother's, see my grandmother when she was ill. And then they,
what about, did you have plenty of supplies, or were you able to people to send you stuff, or how was that with the supplies?
I don't know what you mean by supplies.
Like
The hospital service.
Like medical supplies and things like that. You had plenty of that.
Yes, we had plenty of that. I was stationed at, like I said, Springfield, Missouri.
What about like entertainment? What did any entertainers come, or what did you guys do to entertain yourself during the time?
Oh, we had different people come and entertain us, and then we could go to the Grand Ole Opry in Springfield. They had the Grand Ole Opry in Springfield, Missouri, and we could go and attend that. And we had plenty of entertainment.
When your service time finally ended, what was that like for you?
When it ended?
Yeah, your last day in the service.
Do you remember that last day?
Then I got my discharge.
How'd you feel?
I felt good.
Were you glad to get out of the service?
Well, yes, I was glad to get out of it because they was closing the hospitals all around us. And if I stayed in, I would have to go into an office, and I didn't want to go into an office. So I took my discharge.
And what did you do after you were discharged? Did you go back home?
Yes, I went back home.
Did you go back to work?
And I went and I worked. I got married, and then I worked at McDonald District Hospital for 20-some years. 21 or 2 years.
And you were a nurse?
Yeah, well, I was in therapy, and I did massage work and anything that pertains to anything on that line, that massaging and whirlpool and things like that.
When you were there, did you make any close friendships, and were you able to keep in touch with them after the war or anything like that? Or you just don't know what happened to them afterwards?
No, I didn't keep in touch with anybody.
Is there, while you were in the service, is there one story that sticks out in your mind that you always tell people about your experiences in the service?
Not really.
Anything interesting dealing with other service people, or?
Well, we had, like, Halloween, they entertained us, and they had a contest and I got it for being in the wax. It's been so long ago, I about forgot.
Sure, I understand. What do we have on the last page?
Like I said, when I got out of the service, I went right into the hospital. McDonough District Hospital opened. They opened up June the 30th, and I went in the September and worked in the therapy department.
How'd you feel about the war?
Well, I have mixed feelings. I thought it was uncalled for. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that we didn't cover that you'd like to talk about?
Well, let's see. When I was in Atterbury, Indiana, I got to see my uncle. He lived in Indianapolis, and he'd come and took I and
You have some pictures?
yes. This is before I went in. This is when I belonged to the Ambulance and Defense Corps, and
We'll take some shots of those.
then
When you look at those pictures, does it bring back a lot of memories?
yes, this is the two Bernices that went into the wax together. She was from Ohio and I was from Illinois, and both of our names were Bernice, and hers was Bernice Davis and mine was Bernice Stone. And then this is my husband and I when we got married. That's just as soon as I got out of the service. I went back home to Colchester to my brother's wedding, and they said, "Bernice, we've got a gentleman here we'd like you to meet." And I said, "There's no good men in Colchester," but I got fooled. That's when I met John. I don't know what.
Okay, well, good. I think we got it. I'll tell you what I'd like to do. Yeah, we can take these pictures. Just let it run like that. And then that way the camera's not bouncing around.
Now, I belonged to the Ambulance Defense Corps, and for 4 years.
Tell me a little bit about the Ambulance Defense Corps. What was it?
Well, when the boats came in when the ambulances went to pick them up at Long Beach or in down at the places at the tip of California. Gosh, I can't remember.
But that was a service that.
Yeah, yes. When they brought this, they always had a blackout. When the ships came into harbor.
I see. Okay, stop that one. I'll get you the next one here.
We were in basic training together.
I see. You get both? Yeah.
We've had several pictures taken since then. I got one with a sombrero, and I got one with